My name's Caleb. I'm not a hero. I'm not a warrior. I'm just a man who tried to do the right thing and nearly paid for it with my life. I went camping with my wife, Lena, and her so-called friends, Tanya, Derek, and Chloe, deep in the Pine Ridge National Forest. Just a weekend trip. Supposedly to reconnect. Supposedly to give the kids a good memory. But the truth? I only agreed to go because I was still trying to be the good guy. Because a month before that trip, I found out Lena had been cheating on me. Not just a one-time mistake. Not some blurry moment after too many drinks. This was cold. Calculated. Personal. I found the messages on her phone when I was charging it for her. Late at night. I didn't mean to snoop. But the screen lit up with a text from Derek. Miss you already. Can't wait for the trip. Followed by a photo. Lena in a red bikini, wrapped in a towel, standing on a dock at Lake Holloway. Same lake. Same weekend. And I was working overtime at the warehouse. I didn't say anything at first. I wanted proof. So I dug deeper. Found hotel receipts. Gas charges. A shared Airbnb under a fake name. Even a video, 10 seconds long, of them laughing in a hot tub, her head on his shoulder, his hand on her thigh. And the worst part? They were planning the camping trip together, not as friends, not as a group, but as a couple. A fresh start. Without me. I confronted her one night after the kids were asleep. She didn't deny it. She just said, "You don't see me anymore, Caleb. You're always quiet. Always working. Always focused on the kids." I needed someone who wanted me. I told her it was over. I moved into the guest room. Started gathering documents. I wasn't going to fight her for the house or the money, just for my kids. But Mia, my daughter, begged me. "Dad, please come on one last trip. For me." And Eli, my son, 10 years old, sweet as they come, looked up at me and said, "Maybe she'll be nice again if we all go." So I said yes. Biggest mistake of my life. It started out normal. We set up camp near a clearing by a creek. Tents, coolers, folding chairs. Music playing from a Bluetooth speaker. Lena laughed a lot. Too much. Like she was trying to prove something. Derek kept accidentally bumping into her, touching her arm, whispering in her ear. I ignored it. For the kids. Eli and I went for a walk the second morning. Just a short trail, 10, maybe 15 minutes. He wanted to find cool rocks. I wanted to clear my head. We followed a narrow path down to a bend in the creek. He found a smooth black stone and held it up like treasure. I took a photo on my phone, one of the last I'd ever take for a long time. We stayed maybe 20 minutes. Long enough for the sun to shift in the trees. When we got back, everything was gone. No tents. No food. No cars. No people. Just silence. And that flimsy folding table, the kind you buy at a garage sale, sitting in the middle of the trampled grass. On it, a single sheet of notebook paper. A rock holding it down. Eli picked it up, hands trembling. He read it out loud, voice cracking. "This is for the best. Trust me." I knew that handwriting. It was Lena's. I looked around, at the bare ground, the footprints leading away, the tire marks in the soft soil. They didn't get lost. They didn't panic. They left. On purpose. I dropped to my knees, heart pounding. "No, no, no, no." Eli tugged my sleeve. "Dad, where'd they go?" I couldn't answer. I just stared at that note. This is for the best. Like we were a problem. Like we were trash they'd finally thrown out. No phone signal. No supplies. No shelter. Just me and my 10-year-old son, deep in the woods, with nothing but the clothes on our backs. And then it hit me. This wasn't abandonment. This was murder by neglect. They knew the forest. They knew how far we were from help. They knew we had no way to call for help. They wanted us to die. And they left a note like it was some kind of favor. Eli looked up at me, eyes wide. "Dad, are we gonna die out here?" I took a deep breath. My hands were shaking. My mind was racing. But I looked him in the eye and said, "No, son. We're not dying. We're gonna survive. And when we get out, they're gonna regret this." The first night nearly broke us. No tent. No fire. Just the two of us under the open sky, wrapped in my work jacket. Eli shivered all night. Not just from the cold, but from fear. I held him close, whispering, "I've got you. I've got you." I had almost nothing. A half-empty water bottle, my boots, my jacket, and one mission: keep my son alive. Days 1 to 3, survival instincts. We started building a lean-to, just branches, pine boughs, and leaves. Took us all morning. It wasn't much, but it blocked the wind. I showed Eli how to collect rainwater. Used my flannel shirt as a funnel, channeled it into a hollowed-out log I found near a fallen tree. It tasted like dirt, but it was water. When his stomach growled, I taught him how to spot safe berries, blackberries, wild strawberries. Avoid the red ones. Stay away from anything with a milky sap. We made snares from his shoelaces. Crude, but they worked. Caught a small rabbit on the third day. I skinned it with my pocket knife. Ate it raw at first, too risky to make a fire. The taste made me want to throw up, but I forced it down. For him. At night, when the coyotes howled in the distance, I pulled him close. I told him stories. How my dad taught me these same things when I was a kid. How to read the wind. how to follow animal trails, how to stay calm when everything feels lost. Those stories didn't just calm him. They kept me grounded too. Days 4 to 6, the breaking point. By day 4, we were running on empty. Eli's lips were cracked. His legs were weak. He hadn't eaten real food in days. He sat by the stream, staring into the water. Dad, are we really going to make it? I knelt beside him. Look at me, Eli. He did. You're strong. You're smart. You're mine. And I'm not letting anything happen to you. We're getting out of here. And when we do, the truth comes out. He nodded, but I saw the fear in his eyes. That night, I lay awake, listening to his shallow breathing. I thought about Lena, about Derek, about the life they thought they were starting without us. And I made a promise, not just to survive, but to make them pay. Then, on day 6, we found a stream. Clean, cold water. We drank until our stomachs hurt. I sat back, looked up at the sky, and whispered, "Thank you." For the first time in days, I felt hope. Days 7 to 10, the return. I carved us walking sticks from sturdy branches. We followed the stream downhill. Water always leads to people. We moved slow. Eli was weak. I carried him part of the way. On the 10th day, we broke through the trees and saw a dirt road. And then, headlights. A park ranger's truck came around the bend. He slammed on the brakes. His eyes went wide. "My God, people have been searching for you for over a week." He said Lena told everyone we'd wandered off and never came back. I looked at Eli. His little jaw was clenched. "She lied," he whispered. I nodded. And in that moment, I knew. It wasn't just about surviving anymore. It was about justice. When we stepped out of the ranger's truck in town, people gasped. Cameras clicked. Strangers stared. To them, we were a miracle, a father and son who beat the odds. But to me, this was just the beginning. We went to the police station. The officers told us what Lena and her friends had said. We looked for them. They just disappeared. We didn't know what else to do. They played the part of worried friends. Some even cried, said they'd help search. But the truth? They never searched. No missing person flyers. No calls to hospitals. No reports filed. The chief leaned forward, voice low. People don't just pack up and leave a campsite like that. Not with others still out there. We're already suspicious. I didn't say much. Just kept my hand on Eli's shoulder. This wasn't the time to blow up. Revenge doesn't work with anger. It works with patience. That night, Mia ran into my arms, crying. "Dad, I knew she was lying. She told everyone you ran away, but I didn't believe her." Eli, still bruised and tired, whispered, "She left us to die, and I'll never forgive her." That's when it hit me. This wasn't just about me. It was about them too. My kids needed to see that doing wrong has consequences. So the next morning, I called my lawyer. We started building a case. The note, the ranger's testimony, police reports showing zero search efforts, medical records, Eli was dehydrated, malnourished, bank statements showing spa visits and dinners out while we were missing. And I added one more thing, the evidence of Lena's affair, texts, photos, witness statements. This wasn't just about abandonment. It was about a woman who cheated, lied, and then tried to erase her husband and son, all to start fresh with her lover. We didn't confront them. We didn't argue. We just gathered the truth, piece by piece, until we had something unbreakable. And when the time came, we'd drop it. Not quietly, but in public. The same way they'd abandoned us. The truth came out faster than I thought. Once the police connected the dots, the note, the ranger's account, the lack of search, the affair, they moved in. What Lena and her friends thought was a clean escape. It looked a lot different now. Attempted murder by abandonment. Conspiracy. Emotional abuse. Financial deception. Detectives questioned them one by one. Lena stuck to her story. He wandered off. We tried to find him, but the cracks were everywhere. Bank records showed spa treatments and restaurant bills. During the time, they claimed they were searching. Photos on social media, them laughing over cocktails, while Eli and I were fighting to survive. And that note? Her own handwriting. Right there in evidence. The police chief pulled me aside. She didn't make a mistake. She planned this. And she wasn't alone. Then the news hit. Headlines exploded. Father and son abandoned in wilderness. Survived 10 days. Wife and friends face criminal charges after cheating scandal uncovered. People were furious. Social media turned them into villains overnight. Reporters camped outside their houses. Friends ghosted them. Employers cut ties. One by one, their lives fell apart. Then came the legal side. My lawyer filed for full custody of my kids, endangerment, and neglect. The judge didn't hesitate. Lena lost custody on the spot. Then we went after them financially. Civil suits for medical bills, emotional trauma, reputational damage. Their bank accounts were frozen. No more spa days. No more cocktails. Now they were paying lawyers just to avoid prison. The hardest moment? In court, Eli stood up. Small voice, but strong. "She left us to die," he said. "I don't want to live with her ever again." The room went silent. Lena broke down, sobbing, but no one comforted her. Her friends, Tanya, Derek, Chloe, wouldn't even look at her. The same people who laughed as they drove away from camp now sat in silence, realizing they destroyed their own lives. The courtroom was where it all came full circle. Lena and her friends stood there in handcuffs. No more smirks, no more lies. The prosecutor didn't hold back. This wasn't an accident. This was premeditated, deliberate, cold. The evidence, airtight. The note, the bank records, the ranger, Eli's words, the affair, the timeline. The judge's gavel came down. Guilty. Prison time for reckless endangerment and attempted manslaughter. No probation. No leniency. Outside the courthouse, cameras swarmed. Lena used to love the spotlight. Now every flash burned her into infamy. Her friends? Ostracized. Fired. Disowned. They weren't just disgraced. They were toxic. But the real justice came quietly. After the sentencing, Eli tugged my sleeve. He looked up at me, voice soft but steady. Dad, we survived together. I pulled him close. Tears in my eyes, not from pain, but pride. He walked through hell with me and came out stronger. Months later, I spoke at a wilderness fundraiser. I told our story, not as a tragedy, but as a triumph. People nodded, clapped, some even cried. And I realized something. The people who tried to erase me, they gave me the greatest gift. A legacy built not on their approval, but on resilience, strength, and truth. They thought they left us to die. Instead, they buried themselves. And Eli and I, we walked out of those woods, stronger, united, and free. Years later, I read a small article in the paper. Lena, still in prison. Denied early release. No remorse. I didn't feel anger. Just pity. She never fit in behind bars. Once the life of every party, now just a number. Her friends turned on each other, trying to save themselves. Betrayal ate them alive, just like they tried to do to us. As for us, Eli grew into a man with scars, but also strength. Those 10 days changed him, but they also bonded us in a way nothing ever could. He became a leader, strong, loyal, unbreakable. Together, we started sharing our story, in schools, survival programs, even national conferences. We weren't victims. We were proof that you can survive anything, if you've got someone to stand beside you. One night, after a big speech, Eli leaned over and whispered with a small smile. Dad, remember that note? This is for the best. Trust me. I nodded. He chuckled. Turns out she was right. It really was for the best. The audience stood and applauded, and I finally understood the truth. They left us in the woods to die, but by doing that, they only killed themselves. And from that darkness, my son and I emerged. Not just alive, but unstoppable. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you believe this story needed to be told, like it, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want more real stories of betrayal and justice, subscribe. Because here, every lie gets exposed. And every betrayal, it finds its shadow.